A user opens a ticket. My Fiori app is broken. That is the entire description. You have 5 systems, 12 OData services, and a launchpad that aggregates tiles from multiple backends. Today, we are walking through the full Fiori diagnostic stack, from browser-level tools to backend traces. By the end, you will have a systematic approach to diagnose any Fiori issue in minutes instead of hours. This is not theory. These are the exact tools and sequences that L3 support teams use every day.
Fiori issues can originate at 4 layers, and your first job is to figure out which one. Layer 1, the browser. JavaScript errors, network failures, and rendering issues live here. Layer 2, the Fiori launchpad itself. Tile configuration, target mappings, and navigation problems happen at this level. Layer 3, the OData service layer. Gateway errors, metadata failures, and data serialization issues show up here. And Layer 4, OP. Authorization failures, business logic errors, and performance problems originate in the application server. Each layer has specific tools. Let us go through them, starting at the browser and working our way down the stack.
Your browser's developer tools are the fastest first responder. Press F12 or right-click and select Inspect. Go to the Network tab and filter by XHR or Fetch to see OData requests. Look for red entries, which are failed requests. Click on any request to see the full URL, request headers, and the response body. For OData errors, the response body contains an XML or JSON error message with a specific SAP error code. A 403 means authorization failure. A 404 means the service is not active. And a 500 means something broke in the back end. Check the response headers for SAP message, which often contains the ABAP short dump ID. Also check the Console tab for JavaScript errors. A red error, like uncaught type error, often points to a UI5 control receiving unexpected data from the OData service. SAP built 2 powerful diagnostic tools directly into UI5. The first is the Supportability Assistant, activated with Control plus Shift plus Alt plus S. It runs a rule-based analysis of the running app and flags issues like deprecated API usage, accessibility violations, and incorrect binding paths. Each finding includes a severity level, a description, and a resolution link. The second tool is the Performance Trace, activated with Control plus Shift plus Alt plus P. It records a timeline of UI5 operations, including model reads, view rendering, and OData batch requests. When a user says, "The app is slow," this trace shows you what's consuming time. Is it a slow OData call, a complex binding that triggers too many requests, or a rendering bottleneck from a table with thousands of rows? The new App Inspector, introduced in 2025, adds a visual overlay that lets you click on any UI element to see its control tree, binding details, and associated model data. When the problem is in the OData service layer, your go-to transaction is /IWFND/error_log. This transaction captures errors that pass through the SAP Gateway Hub. Each entry shows the timestamp, the user, the HTTP method, the OData service name, and the error message. You can double-click an entry to see the full error stack, including the ABAP short dump if one was generated. A key field to check is the error category. Common categories include /IWBEP errors for business logic failures, /IWFND errors for gateway routing issues, and authority check for missing authorization objects. Pro tip: if the error log is empty but users report errors, check that error logging is active in transactions /IWFND/GW_client. When the error log does not give you enough detail, escalate to the gateway trace. Transaction /IWFND/traces lets you activate a full trace of OData request processing. You can filter by user, service name, or HTTP method. The trace captures the complete request and response payloads, the internal method calls, and the time spent in each processing step. It's useful for debugging data transformation issues, where the backend returns the correct data, but the gateway serializes it incorrectly. Important: traces are resource-intensive. Always set a time limit, usually 15 to 30 minutes, and trace only the specific user or service causing the problem. Deactivate it as soon as you have captured the scenario.
2 transactions that every Fiori admin should have bookmarked. First, /UI2/cache_invalidate. This clears the Fiori Launchpad cache on the server side. When you deploy a new app version or update a tile, the old version can persist in cache. Running this transaction forces the Launchpad to fetch fresh content. Second, OPA_index. The app index is the registry that tells the Fiori Launchpad which apps are available, their URLs, and their component IDs. After deploying a new app or changing a BSP application, you must recalculate this index. If a newly deployed app does not appear in the Launchpad, it is not indexed. Schedule these to run automatically after transport imports using the SICF post-processing framework or as a step in your CI/CD pipeline.
Let me give you a repeatable workflow. Reproduce the issue in the browser and check DevTools for HTTP errors or JavaScript exceptions. Step 2, if it is an OData error, note the service name and error code, then check /IWFND/error_log on the gateway. Step 3, if the error log is not informative enough, activate a targeted trace in /IWFND/traces and reproduce the issue. Step 4, if you suspect caching, run cache invalidation and app index recalculation. Step 5, for performance issues, use the UI5 performance trace in the browser and the ABAP runtime analysis transaction SE30 on the backend. Document your findings and resolution in the ticket. This sequence covers 90% of Fiori issues and prevents the common mistake of jumping straight to the backend when the problem is actually in the browser.
Here is your next step. Take the 6-step workflow from this session and customize it for your landscape. Add your specific gateway system IT, your common OData service names, and your team's escalation paths. The difference between an hour-long troubleshooting session and a 15-minute resolution is not skill. It is having a